we're dueling for the race lead. There was a bit of funny business in Sao Paulo, and now it's going to happen immediately here in Jeddah. We've made contact with Leclerc, we're facing the wall, and Vettel spun, and there's a second safety car. We're going to come in under this second safety car and strap on a brand spanking new set of medium tyres, and look at this, we're going to come out only in P3. We have absolutely finessed this. Leclerc on the left, Schumacher on the right. It's 3 wide going into the final corner. One more corner to go to come through for our 7th victory of the season to match our number 7 on the car. It's taken 5 seasons and 85 episodes, but for the first time in this game, we crossed the line and we're going to win a Drivers' World Championship in F1 22, my team career mode.
Breaking news! Our top story tonight has sent shockwaves through the world of Formula 1 as the reigning F1 champion and team owner aarava is set to leave his own team and join Scuderia Ferrari. In one of the most peculiar developments over this winter break and into his 6th season in Formula 1, the Brit has signed a lucrative contract to drive for the Italian outfit alongside 2-time world champion Max Verstappen. Ferrari CEO cited his admiration at the Brit during last season, where aarava denied the Scarlet outfit a race win multiple times on his way to winning his first F1 World Championship, and said this level of ruthlessness is what Ferrari needs right now. Ferrari have enjoyed a renewed level of pace with their car, but have lacked the means to convert this into results, and hope aarava can help manage the team day to day on top of just driving for the team in order to fix those issues. Of course, aarava is no stranger to managing a Formula 1 team, as his own team, that bears his namesake, was steered to a 3rd Constructors' Championship win in a row last season. This news, though, has left major questions on how aarava Archer Racing will operate going forward, and who on earth will be driving for them in the upcoming season.
Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 22 My Team Career Mode. This is pre-season for Season 6, and as you can see, things are looking rather different now going forward for this brand new season, because yeah, that's right, I have left my own team and we are driving for Scuderia Ferrari. This is the first time I think I've seen this ever done on an F1 game since my team came out. But we are driving for one of the official F1 teams inside of a My Team Career Mode save. So in terms of the story here of how we've got here, you would have seen that Sky News segment. Of course, Ferrari have put down a pretty lucrative contract and some major desires for this season, and it was an opportunity we couldn't resist taking. Also factoring in that as of late, our team has felt like it's been controlled not just solely by us, but outside forces, outside brands. We've had Audi, we've had Lotus, and both cases, they've, influenced what we've done with the team. They've influenced our teammates, especially in the case of Lotus, with the whole operation of getting Lotus powered by Honda. And so because of that, we are taking a season breather from the politics inside AAR. And at the same time also, a good old friend and pal came to me with a rather interesting proposal of what could happen over there. It's taken a fair amount of work and tweaking and figuring out how to do it on the modding side, on the PC game of course here, but yeah, to all intents and purposes, we are here for a brand new season of My Team Career Mode, but I am driving for Ferrari alongside Max Verstappen. After finally achieving the Drivers' World Championship in Season 5 and our 3rd Constructors' Championship in a row, and really looking at the state of this game and the level of interest, etc., I thought it was time for a major change to the series, really shake it up and do something that I haven't seen anyone do yet on the F1 games with My Team Career, and that is leaving my own team to its own devices. We're going to be going up against aarava Archer Racing while striving for the Scuderia. So here's what the upcoming season calendar looks like. We kick things off once again down under at the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne before going to Bahrain. Then we have an earlier Miami Grand Prix. Miami actually was a massive success last season with maxed out cars. That track actually came alive and was very action-packed, and of course with two US teams these days with Repsol Haas and Andretti Honda, a US GP has to be a staple on the calendar now, but it's earlier on this time round. Then we go to Monaco to kick off the European portion of the season. From Monaco we go to Austria. We have the return of Zandvoort, Verstappen's home race, as round number 6 before going to the British GP and rounding out the first half of the season at the Belgium Grand Prix in Spa. Then the usual back-to-back Monza to Imola Italian GPs, then all the flyaways to the end, Singapore, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and then the staple last two that we've grown accustomed to in this series, from Jeddah to Yas Marina. And last season those two races were insane. I mean, Jeddah was the place we were crowned the world champion, and in Abu Dhabi, well, for the first time ever we had some rain in Yas Marina, so that was a quite exciting pairing to end off season 5. But I think this entire calendar and season is going to be so intriguing from the get-go, because there was no regulation change. If you remember and you watched on in season 5, there was no regulation change over the winter, and so it means every team, I think pretty much near enough, is maxed out now. So it's really going to be down to the drivers, their level of focus, the momentum they maybe brought in from the end of last season, just obviously the usual season to season. We do see some subtle changes, I think, in the AI sometimes, with age, you know, being a factor and experience. But them, you know, being maxed out, the whole grid spread's going to be so tiny, and so there's so much more jeopardy in qualifying and then the races as well. And because there's no R&D upgrades to talk about, you know, we're all maxed out, so there is literally no development on that side of things. We can get straight into then the driver transfers for this brand new season, starting off, of course, with us at Scuderia Ferrari. We are alongside Max Verstappen, 3 F1 Drivers' World Championships between us, but, well, Ferrari themselves have not had a Constructors' Championship for many years, so the reason why we have joined them, that they've wanted to sign us, is to potentially try and change that. We're going to be managing them day to day and trying to use that prowess we've had at AAR over here at the Italian outfit. Now, one of our major rivals from last season, Mercedes, are looking rather different now with a new lick of paint. The driver lineup is unchanged. Why would they change it? It's arguably one of the strongest, if not the strongest pairing on the grid, barring maybe now myself and Verstappen. Leclerc and Russell stay put, but now the Silver Arrows are in black once more with a very different blue toned livery, which looks absolutely stunning, I must say. So this, and along with other liveries that I have been using in the series, of course, as ever, links down below in the description to the fantastic livery artists on Race Department that upload these on the site. But yeah, a new look for Mercedes, but pretty much the same goal as last season. You know, they almost won the Constructors' Championship. They were level on points with us at Lotus AAR F1. They only lost it on countback on the number of wins. So really, again, pointing to one of these drivers getting up there and being competitive in the Drivers' Championship and getting more race wins to maybe get that over the line. But don't be surprised maybe if you see this team in company with them in the top 10 maybe, because this team was a high flyer at the end of last season. Gulf Porsche Williams, now steered by Magnussen and Mick Schumacher. Of course, we replaced Schumacher in the Ferrari team, so he's found a new home at Gulf Porsche Williams as they try and have further ambitions of getting higher up in the championship. You know, Magnussen's old teammate Esteban Ocon, he only scored 1 point last season, and Magnussen scored over 40 points. So can you imagine if Schumacher can bring them some solid points this season? They are going to be up there properly in the midfield fight, even maybe bridging it, you know, looking at their performances in the last couple of races in Season 5. There was a podium in there for Kevin Magnussen at Sao Paulo, I think it was, and in qualifying, certainly they did have a lot of pace, and it's just about trying to operationally get it right in the race then, and maybe Schumacher could be the answer, because although he maybe hasn't been one of the rock stars of this series, he did actually have some quality races in Ferrari when the car didn't let him down, of course, and we didn't steal the win away from him at Mexico, so it could be a fantastic year for the Williams team. We then move to Renault, where Ocon has found a new but old familiar home as he was booted out of Williams in favour of Mick Schumacher. So he's found himself back at the Renault Alpine outfit alongside Sergio Perez. Now, Renault, they had such a quiet last season. You know, they were really nowhere. They also got pretty damn unlucky in most of the races where they did actually have a bit of performance. So they'll just be hoping for some glimmer of some points maybe this season and compared to last. And the driver who's made way for Esteban Ocon over there has actually moved on to Andretti Honda alongside our old teammate Yuki Tsunoda, who has found his feet. He's still in Formula 1, and surprise, surprise, he's driving for a team powered by the Japanese outfit Honda. Now, obviously, the big elephant in the room here is that Fernando Alonso has left Andretti. It's an all-new lineup for them. It's a bold call by Andretti, but I don't think they had any choice in terms of losing Alonso to a rival team. But Andretti, they started off so well in Season 5, scoring good points, and then just dropped off. They didn't keep up performance. There was that, one race in the middle of the season where you saw, the likes of Williams and Aston Martin overtaking them the R&D chart, but now going into Season 6 with maxed out cars, two drivers with over 80 focus, who knows what this team could do, and they'll be hoping to try and emulate Repsol Haas at becoming one of the big shots in Formula 1. But this is why Fernando Alonso is no longer at Andretti Honda. He has gone to Aston Martin, just like in real life. He has joined the green outfit, and he is alongside the returning Nico Hülkenberg, who came back to Formula 1 last season with this team. So for the first time ever in this series, Lance Stroll is not driving for Aston Martin, and there might be a good reason why, because of course Aston Martin, they were the dark horses coming out of nowhere through the second half of last season to consistently break into the top 10 in qualifying, going for top 5 points sometimes, and so who knows, this team's been quiet most of this series. Only last season did they really start getting into the picture. So this is the point where Lawrence Stroll has seen the writing on the wall for his son. He's booted him out, he's hired Fernando Alonso, retained Hülkenberg, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be saying to these two, go out there and get us up into the top 5, because with how they were performing last season, these two drivers, over 80 focus for both of them as well, over 80 rating for both of them, there's no reason why this team now maybe can't get into that picture and conversation for the top 5 in the championship. And one of the teams he'll be looking to leapfrog in the Constructors' Championship are McLaren, who are back in orange with an all-new chassis shape, and they retain Oscar Piastri and Pierre Gasly. In terms of a driver lineup, very, very solid. Obviously, we know how quick Gasly has been in this series before. Piastri's getting there, learning a bit more, getting a bit quicker. He's got a lot of focus, but McLaren themselves, operationally, were just woeful last season. They also lost a bit of pace in comparison to other teams around them, and so for the first time in this series, they found themselves down in that bottom half of the table, because, so much of this series, they've been up there, they've been racing for podiums, race wins, and, at one point, we were scared about how quick they were. I think, remember, back in, Season 2 and 3, so there's no reason why they can't return there, but they just need to shake the gremlins they had last season of just some poor strategy calls, a bit of bad luck as well, sometimes some DNFs, I think, as well, and, they definitely look very, very intriguing this season with an all-new orange livery, which, like with the Mercedes livery, I just think looks so awesome on this new chassis shape. So once again, link down below in the description if you want to check out this livery for yourself for the McLaren team. But, with a driver pairing like Piastri and Gasly, there's no reason why they shouldn't be aiming for higher than they were last season. And another team that were in the exact same boat as McLaren, right next to them in the Constructors' Championship, were Red Bull, who are now back in blue, and they no longer are powered by Honda. Welcome to Red Bull Ford. Yep, they are now powered by Ford Performance this season. Albon stays put, but they have lost Lando Norris. After signing him last season, they really underperformed and pretty much just frustrated him to no end with how difficult their car was to drive. There was some pace in that car, because occasionally Lando was able to get that Red Bull up into top fives. Even Albon was able to rekindle some of his old performances occasionally, but overall, that car just looked like a bit of a bucking bronco last season, did not perform, was not consistent whatsoever, and so they have lost Lando services and have to call upon Liam Lawson, an old Red Bull Junior Academy driver, to come back to their stable and drive for them alongside Albon in this new era of Red Bull Ford. And speaking of losing Lando Norris's services, well, he has gone across to Audi Sport to reignite the partnership he had with Carlos Sainz back in the McLaren days. It's Carlando once again at Audi Sport F1 as they have finally parted ways in their iconic relationship with Sebastian Vettel, the six-time world champion in this alternate F1 universe of ours. You know, Audi, ever since coming into the sport here in this career mode, they've pretty much become a staple team on the grid, consistently there, and so they're looking to build on for the future with a bit of youth there with Lando Norris alongside Carlos Sainz, and the two, well, hopefully will push each other to perform well. Audi had a bit more of a challenge last season, wasn't smooth sailing, but they did have flashes of pace. They of course won the opening round at Australia, but they just didn't have that consistency that they used to have in previous seasons, so they're hoping this new lineup could bring just that back to the team. And as one team is maybe looking for consistency, another team has lost their consistent man. Repsol Haas, one of the new top teams in Formula 1 in the last few seasons, have lost the services of Felipe Drugovich. Bottas remains there. Last race's race winner. He won the last race at Abu Dhabi, so they'll probably still be happy with his services, but he was very much in the shadow of his younger junior teammate Felipe Drugovich for most of that, the new star in Formula 1, but he's paired alongside Robert Schwartzman. Now, Schwartzman did actually drive for Repsol Haas when they first became Repsol Haas. He didn't get the chance to stay on and actually, you know, show what he could maybe do in such a quick car. So in many ways, it's kind of justice a little bit for Schwartzman to come full circle and come back to this team. He's no longer alongside Drugovich, though. He's alongside Bottas. So he's got a real chance now, like Felipe, of becoming a young junior leader of this team, as Bottas is there for the consistency and experience he brings of the many years he's been in Formula 1. Now, this just leaves one team, my old team, my team, aarava Archer Racing. And I mentioned a good old friend, old pal, came to me with a plan of potentially how this could work this season. So, as I have left my own team, it needs a new team leader, a man to manage the team day to day, and that is exactly what I'm getting with Sebastian Vettel going to aarava Archer Racing. He is back at the team, as well as Felipe Drugovich. In a very poetic way, my very first teammate in this series is back at my own team, but he's not alongside me. He's alongside one of my other old teammates, Sebastian Vettel, the six-time world champion. He was potentially thinking about retiring at the end of Season 5. Of course, we, you know, convinced him to not retire the first time and join us at the Audi outfit. But Sebastian Vettel here now has taken up the opportunity to become a driver manager and try and learn the ropes of how to manage a team as he looks to pivot from being a driver to team principal in the future. And what better way to do it than by driving for a team and being able to manage it? And I think he's the only driver, to be honest, in this whole series that I would trust to manage my team, because I may be driving for Scuderia Ferrari this season, but this team has still got my name on it, has got my logo on it, and there's no better man, I think, that I'd allow to manage it than Sebastian Vettel. And alongside him, Felipe Drugovich, now nearly 90 rated, just going from the up and up, but after being defeated by us 2 times now in the season, he finally thought it's time to leave the team where he's honed his skills and come back to the team he started with in Formula 1 to maybe try and win a Drivers' World Championship. But of course, the caveat to all of this is, and what's going to make this season so, interesting and weird feeling, is I'm going to be driving against them, trying to stop them doing just that, driving for Ferrari, but taking a season out away from the politics of the team. The team's gone back to the basics. It's gone back to its Season 2 livery, and I'm giving Vettel the chance to, get his skills up of being a team principal, be kind of like a caretaker team principal, if you will, taking care of the team for his season, whilst I have a bit of a breather away from that and take on a new challenge in the form of taking this Scuderia Ferrari team to the top of Formula 1. A very unique, weird new season is upon us, and I hope you guys are excited for it. And the plan would be at the end of this season, Vettel does actually finally retire for good, and he might be able to find his own job as a team principal. I will then take back the reins of aarava Archer Racing. But for this one season, I am going up against my own team in my team career mode. And as ever with every F1 season, everything gets reset to 0 and you go again, and who knows how it's going to go. But I hope you guys are massively excited for this new season with this very, very different way to operate a new season of my team career mode. Like I said, I don't think it's ever been done really in terms of a series of driving for one of the official F1 teams within a My Team save, but we've done it and we're here for Season 6, and that was the pre-season episode. If you guys did enjoy it, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below of anything really involved with the Ferrari move, the driver transfers, etc. And I'll catch you guys next time for round number 1 at the Australian Grand Prix. If you're around here, do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.